Hello my Scrapbook friends and welcome to my channel today. I know it's been a little while, life has just been a bit crazy. So today's share is for Scrap the Boys for our December challenge, and it is Christmas traditions. And I have scrapbooked this photo of my children. Here we go. You just saw the page a minute ago. I'm just going to quickly show you what I've done here. So I have cut all the letters in gold glitter cardstock. And I've backed them all with foam. I was a bit sad to use the whole piece of this pattern paper in the background, but I went to gut it and then I went, I can't do that because then I'll have nothing to stick my letters to. So I'm using the whole candy cane stripe paper here, and I'm going to stick my my cut file, which is from Cut To, of course, onto my background here, just making sure it's straight. The collection here that I am using is the beautiful new Merry and Bright collection by Coco Vanilla Studio. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love it. I've only had the chance to make this one page with it, so I can't wait to get into it a bit more. This month's challenge for Scrap the Boys is all about Christmas traditions. And the photo that I'm scrapbooking is my kids in front of our Christmas tree on Christmas Eve in their new pajamas. Every year on Christmas Eve, our elf brings new pajamas for the kids to wear, well, for all of us to wear, in fact. And I always get a photo of them before they go to bed in front of the Christmas tree in their jammies because it's just cute. I do want to quickly say the only reason our elf brings these things is because these are things that we would have got anyway. But the elf just brings a bit of fun. Obviously, I am recording this when my kids are in bed asleep because they are still big believers, which I just love. I think it's amazing. So we've got the Christmas, like the very obvious Christmas tradition of the new pajamas in front of the Christmas tree. But also the Christmas tradition of the elf bringing them. And it's really funny because part of the tradition is they cannot keep their hands off each other. One of them is always all over the other one. It cracks me up. So what I have done what I was doing on the Scrapbook page while I was blabbering on there, I've just applied a coat of some white gesso behind where my photo is going to go, and I'm just using Vibes Jenny B Blue to add a little bit of colour directly behind where my photo is going. You can see as I've wet this where the gesso ends and where it's just plain pattern paper. You will be pleased to know that by the time it all dries off, it looks totally fine. You can't tell, and I'm quite happy with the way it ends up. I have just spritzed that with water to get the colour to spread a little bit more, and I'm going to blast that with my heat tool. I'm using these other bottles and containers to weigh down my corners because I have used water and mixed media. It has warped a little bit, and I want my splatters to stay proper splatters. So I've weighed down the corners, and I'm going back in with the same colour, the Vibes Jenny B Blue, and just splattering that around. I was going to contain all of my mixed media just to the area immediately behind the photo, but you'll see in a sec I go right around the Happy Christmas as well. I just felt like I wanted a little bit of something just to draw your eye around there. It's nothing really like, oh my goodness, there's mixed media on this page. And to get some smaller splatters, I'm just using a paintbrush and dipping that straight into the bottle, which is what I do right around that cut file. You'll be able to read that much better in a little while once I've done all the bits. But you can see I'm just adding some smaller splatters with that paintbrush. I'm going to come in with the golden sleigh bells. This is a really beautiful colour. It is a Lindy's, and it's really pretty. It's like a soft gold. It goes really well with the glitter on the letters that I've used. What am I doing? I'm going to dry that off. I didn't want to soak it up. I didn't want to lose any of the colour. So I'm going to show you a little bit. This is not as fast as I normally put it. This is 2 times the speed because 1 times was just way too slow. I'm using my fine liner, adding glue to the background. I just find that easier than adding it to the letters, because if I add it to the letters, I get it all over my hands. I can't help myself. And I'm just placing that on top. I've got a little bit of time to wiggle that around to get it in the right spot. And I've left the R in as well, because I just wanted to show you that I've placed my letter first, and then I've popped the middle piece in. And here we are with all of those letters stuck back in. It's not a very exciting process, so I did cut most of that out. I did have a few issues with my Cameo cutting those letters. I did find that slowing the speed right down really helped, and also I cut, I think, 4 letters at a time, and then cleaned the blade out because the glitter goes up and it can mess with the cutting. So I found that cutting them 4 at a time, it was a longer process, but I wasted less of the cardstock, which is a win. I'm going to add a couple of layers behind my photo, starting with that glitter cardstock, and I've put it to the top left-hand corner of the photo because I know that to the bottom right-hand corner of the photo, I'm going to have that cut file that goes around the page. Got one of the 3x4 cards here that I'm just going to trim down. If you didn't know, these 3x4 cards are double-sided. I really love them. And then I've got the 6x8 paper pad here. Wanted to bring in something that was more of a contrast between the white of the background, just to give it a bit more contrast. And then I've got this same candy cane stripe from the background, which I really love. I do start with it here. I distress all the edges on all the papers. I'm pretty sure I distress the edges on the glitter cardstock too, but I'm not like 200% sure. So you can see here I'm playing with my layers. I'm like, yep, it looks better without the candy cane stripe. I am using wet glue to stick that glitter cardstock, and yeah, what am I doing? So I'm trimming off some of that foam, which is really quite funny because I end up sticking it straight back on. I'm like, yep, happy with that. I'm going to bring that placement down just a tiny bit more. And because that glue wasn't dry, my thing was moving. So there, I'm putting the foam straight back on there. And what am I doing? So I'm going to start sticking my layers here. They are intentionally not straight, I think. Yes, intentionally not straight. And I really like the way that that looks. I love this background that I've used, that I've cut the cut file from, the white with all the confetti stars. I love it. I'm going to add another layer of foam behind my photo. I just wanted to make sure that it was high enough that it would sit on top of those letters. I'm going to add a little bit more. And then I'm going to stick my photo down. So just a couple of little layers behind my photo. This collection is absolutely beautiful. If you haven't got it yet, I do recommend that you get your hands on it. It's gorgeous. Just using a couple of Nouveau paste tubs to hold everything down. I ended up covering more of this cut file than I had originally intended to. Now that was a sentence and a half, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. I did and ah when I opened this up. What am I going to do with these little houses? And then I saw them and went, oh, I can put one over here. I did start with the greeny blue colour one and then went to the pink one. I just feel like I've got enough greeny blue happening. So I go with the pink one, and then I'm going to build a little bit of a cluster around here. Have you seen the Santa in this collection? He's so cute. So cute. So I'm just looking for some bits and pieces. I'm like, I might add a label in here. I'm like, yep, perfect. So I'm going to stick that back on there and find my roller date stamp and my gold ink, and I'm going to stamp the date, which, as I mentioned, was Christmas Eve last year. As I record this, it is actually the 30th of November. My kids went to bed very hopeful that the elf is going to turn up tomorrow morning, and I may know something that they don't. So that's all a bit exciting. We love this time of year. Though, in saying that, we also have swimming lessons in week 7 and 8 of term 4, and my goodness, what a year. Of course, this is the year that we have to deal with that as well. But anyway, so I'm just looking for some other pieces to add to this little cluster here. I want to bring in some contrast and some interest. And so I've got this really dark blue flower, I've got that light aqua coloured flower, and I'm pretty sure I bring in a pink flower. I've also brought in that little love heart tab thingamajig, whatever it's called, up to the top of the photo. I'm going to try this. Is it holly? I think that's holly. It might be mistletoe. I don't even know. Whatever it is, I'm going to try it. Let me know. What is it? Is it holly or is it mistletoe? I can never, ever get them right, ever. I'm just playing with the placement here because I don't want any weird angles or anything like that. Man, us scrapbookers cracks me up, makes me laugh. I'm pretty sure this is where I bring in the other colour down here with that whatever kind of leaf it is. And then I remembered, oh, I've got my label to go in there. So I pop my label in. I'm like, okay, cool. This is coming together better now. I think I've stuck all that down. I've got, of course, one of these gold puffy stars, because why wouldn't I? They are gorgeous. I love them. I really think I could do with another, 3 packs of them. Love them. So, from the accessory sticker sheet, I have got I put in a couple of little stickers here. This one says Traditions. And then I'm, like I said, using my T-square ruler to make sure it's straight. I'm going to use some glue to stick it down. And then I'm like, oh, I haven't stuck all my ephemera pieces down. I better stick those down as well. So I'll get a start on that. After the glue is dry, I do go back in and bend up all the edges of all of these bits and pieces. Those stars are just gorgeous. I love them so much. I'm going to slip that one in there. It says Traditions. It is way more visible in real life than it is on camera. And I must admit, I can't believe I haven't said this before. I'm so sorry for the weird angle. I don't know what I was thinking, but weird angles it seems. Also added in Christmas Eve to that bottom right hand cluster, and then my title is going to be this word that says joy. It is from one of the pattern papers in the collection, and I do not make you watch all of this. And then that is me done. I do add some machine stitching all the way around the outside of the page, as you can see there, and also over that title. And I really love how this has come together. I love the colours in this collection. Oh, I also added that torn strip of the candy cane stripe to the top and bottom of the photo cluster. So yeah, I really, really love this collection. It's beautiful. If you haven't got your hands on it yet, do it. Do it. Otherwise, yes, I hope you've enjoyed my share. Make sure you load your pages up to the Facebook page, and I can't wait to see what you create with this month's December Traditions Challenge. Thank you so much for stopping by.